enthusiastic now.
I've been talking enthusiastic. What you mean?
On your last one, you were kind of doling it out a little bit.
What you mean?
You were like talking in your bedtime voice.
Nah. I was just laying back. Welcome to the 9th official episode of Mental Check. The guest here today is, family. Family is my oldest brother, man. So he's the first of the bunch. I think he has a really cool story to tell. Someone that's very, very, very cherishing to me. So without further ado, Mr. Stan the Man, Stan Jr. Driscoll, what's good, Stan?
Hey, how everybody doing today?
Yeah. How you doing, boy?
I'm pretty good, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to finally get you on this. I know we've been talking about this for a minute.
Yeah, a little minute now.
Yeah, it's good to finally get you on, but
yeah,
we got the shades on, all cool and whatnot.
Yeah.
Of course, Stan. Well, I know you. I'm your brother, so I kind of know a lot about you. But for the people, we could just kind of go into your upbringing, kind of what made you, starting when you were a little chunky boy.
jokes.
until now.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it all started out when I was about, I'd say we moved to McKinney about 1993. I was 5 years old. That's really when my life kind of first started. Like, I didn't know a lot of people, and I learned to, I learned first of all, how to be only one of the only black kids in my school. So it was kind of a little different at first because when I lived in North Carolina, it was a little bit more diverse. But after I started growing up in McKinney, I just had to deal with maybe a little bit of racism and maybe just upcoming with the difference of different people of my race, and it kind of molded me into the person I am today. And when I turned about, let's say, 12 or 13, that's when I figured out I was a diabetic, and it's kind of taking a toll on my life, like my vision and a little bit of my health. But I'm still kicking, I'm still here. Mm-hmm. So we just gonna keep on pushing and keep on working with the things that God gave me, other things that God gave me, and it helps out. It helps out a lot to have a good supporting cast, like a good family members around and good friends around to help me go through what I'm going through. So, it gets hard some days, but I try to look at it the best way I can, the best way possible I can, and know if God still got me here, it's for a reason. Keep on thinking, just keep on praising, just keep on praying every day, and pray that God will show me the way and show me how to just maintain and just cope with things that go on in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So that's a lot. Kind of jumped around a little bit between moving to McKinney, and then when you're 13 became a diabetic.
Yeah.
Lost your vision at how old?
Lost my vision probably about at age 28, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so spending 28 years of your life seeing and going from not seeing, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a big difference, but it's definitely a big change, but something that I had to grow to learn how to cope with things around it just by using my other senses and being able to maneuver around without being able to see. It was definitely a harder all the transition, and I make it seem like, but
Yeah.
you know.
Before we go there, I mean, way back when, you were a little bit more beefy like myself over here. You were a little athlete or something.
Yeah.
Thought you could dunk outside.
Yeah.
Thought you could tackle me on the couch. I had to shake you a little
Oh
bit.
man.
Talk about sports growing up, man.
Yeah. When I was growing up, yeah, I was a little bit more beefy, or more size on me. I played football,
Hmm.
and I feel like I was pretty decent, a decent player.
What position were you?
Played defensive tackle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like yeah, I feel like I was pretty decent football player.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
You lifted back there too,
yeah,
or what?
I was a pretty strong dude, pretty fast dude. I don't want to be on my home, but beat. Uh, yeah, I was, I felt like I was a pretty good athlete,
Yeah.
but things didn't really work out as I wanted to. I ended up breaking my leg in probably my sophomore year of high school,
Hmm.
and after that, like I kind of felt like nothing. My life would just kind of fall apart with that, because I thought all I had on my mind was football. I didn't want thinking about going. I wasn't thinking about like what I'm gonna do after other than football. Like football, I had all my eggs really in one basket. So once I got out of high school, it was kind of a little struggle for me to find like what my real knack was, and what kind of job I want to do, what kind of job I was gonna do, and you know, 'cause
Yeah, I mean that's hard though, man. Like being in high school and knowing what you want to do for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's not easy to walk out and be like, man, we wants to go to college and just figure out like what we're supposed to do with our rest of our lives. Like after just being in high school, like you know, that's not an easy thing just to decide to do. So um, that's no small skin off your back or anything like that.
yeah,
Um, all right, so growing up, you had three brothers, two sisters.
yeah.
You used to be the king of the household as far as like video games and everything. Then
Yeah.
one day, your brother surpassed you.
Ah,
Started beating the brakes off you. Like
I think
what's that feel
I
like,
kind of
man?
just kind of passed from the throne to y'all. Cause I think I was the champion for so long. I had to just go ahead and let y'all. I had to pass it on to somebody else,
Yeah,
man.
that's
Couldn't
what it
last
was.
forever.
That's what it was.
Yeah, like LeBron and Michael Jordan, the greatest. And I mean, you know how they had to pass the throne on to younger cats. That's what I had to do, man. The games. This is a young man game now. Oh, this is a young man game. So
Hey,
you gotta
man.
let the young cats have it every once in a while.
Nah, I feel that, man. No, it's funny though. And then let's see, your brothers, your sisters. Talk about your sisters. How have they
Yeah,
been in your life?
yeah. Like both of my sisters were really a big part of my life. My sister Lawrence, she like taught me a lot of stuff that I know. I learned a lot from her, and watching her do things. And my sister Shelby more on both of them were really like a good emotional, like somebody I can talk to and express my feelings towards, and they listen to me, and it's like they pretty much understand what I'm going through, and don't try to judge me or anything, and it just make it kind of easier for me to go through my situation. And it's just like I talk to them, both of them, a lot, like pretty real close to all my family. But I talk to them a lot about like really what I'm going through in life, and really they help me make it through like hard circumstances that I go through, like because every day is not really easy for me. Try to find different ways and different things to be able to keep my mind off of what's really going on in my life, and they just make it easier for me. Like, and I like to thank them both, like, for being a good, special part of my life and helping me to become the man that I am today. You know,
Shout out Shelby and Lauren
yeah. Shout out Shelby and Lauren.
from Queens.
Yeah.
Cool. So now that we kind of know your upbringing, you know a little bit about you. Next, we're kind of going to pivot here. You could just talk about your lowest point, if that's right now. Kind of talk about what you're doing to cope through it, the pressures of it, and it was sometime back then. Talk about how you overcame that.
So the lowest part of my life is probably going on like kind of right now. You know, within the last couple of months. You know, like starting probably at the very beginning of this year, like literally at the beginning of this year. Like I just woke up one day and just was like just felt down on life and just felt like there was no hope for me and just that like really just coming to terms with my situation that I'm in, like that maybe might ever be able to see again. So it took a toll on me, and like I would some days wake up in the morning like not want to even have any hope or not even want to get out of bed because I just felt like there was no hope for me or anything. And some days like even got so low that I would just want to like kind of not even want to be living anymore. So I just tried like once I started getting my faith, I tried to like get through to try to get my faith back in God. You know, and some days would be harder than others. Like some days like how I would have to fight to have a smile on my face or just fight for happiness or like I would hold in anger that I had towards myself like through the days and it wasn't a good feeling. Like just like some days I feel like I was like gonna go insane, like going crazy. Like towards the beginning of the year, I just started having like real bad anxiety attacks and like would go on rants like nobody loves me or I never find true love or thinking about my life down the road or like what I have left, like or what I'm able to do in my life, and like it that maybe feeling like I was being hindered by my situation that it was gonna keep me from getting to where I wanted to be. But I had to dig deep down inside of myself to, you know what I'm saying, find hope and find faith and try to get my life back to where it needs to be. It's still a struggle like day after day, but right now I'm just taking it one day at a time and just trying my best to be a positive role model to people and just an example of like anything's possible. And, like if you keep your mind with God and you keep your thoughts on the positive, that you can do more than you think that you can do, and that you can overcome a lot just by the starting of having a positive mindset and not giving up on life. That's not an option. Like once I thought about that, you know, once I thought about this family who care about me and my kids and even people who just look up to me who looking at my situation from the inside out, it's like I, I gotta live for the right things and not want to die because you know there's a lot of people who care about me out here and I know that I might not lift myself as much as everybody else, but I had to think about it's more than me that affects if I were just to give up on life and not want to live no more. So I've been trying, you know. just take it, like I said, taking it day by day and step by step, and it doesn't. Uh, it's going. It gets easier day by day, but still kind of a struggle.
Every single person takes for granted like the basic necessities that we have,
Yeah,
right? And something that you feel, I feel like even more strongly to those who were born a certain way or born blind, right?
yeah,
And they don't even know what it's like to ever see.
yeah,
But it shows your true strength because you went from knowing what it's like to see to now not being able to see, right? So that's
exactly.
even bigger weight that you're bearing every single day.
Yeah,
But not only that, it's every single day for you is a victory. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Every single day that you uh, wake up and choose that joy, choose that happiness, choose to overcome that you talk about.
yeah.
That speaks volumes about how strong you are.
It's really a mental fight every day to try to maintain it, but God won't, He ain't not gonna put me through anything I can't bear. So I just try to keep my mind on that and try to keep my faith in God, and you know He gonna give me the next step. He gonna eventually tell me what the next step is in my life, and just for now, I just gotta keep on just on believing that He'll do what He says He'll do, and I'll be all right.
And, um, and then so you talked about kind of how you realize like the people around you, like how that would affect them as you kind of talked about like not wanting to live and things like that.
Yeah,
Um, it's like one thing you talked about is your kids. Talk about your kids a little bit. It's
yeah.
like
I got
man.
two great kids.
Mhm.
Keon and Ariel.
Mhm.
One 15, Ariel's 15, and Keon will be 13. Yeah, they some great kids. Like they're just like average kids. They'll do things like they're not supposed to do every once in a while. Get on nerves every once in a while, just like any other kid would do. But you
Yeah.
know, love them to death, and you know they're a main part of what I do today, and why I'm still around, and who I'm out here living for. Like it's them because it's just you know I'm a big family person. I love my family. Like anybody who knows me knows that I'm a family person, and my family is like we're real family oriented. Everything we do, like my family are real close, and we love each other. You know what I'm saying? We're always there for each other. Like
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think we got a very close family, man, and I think that's partly comes from all the fighting we did when we were younger. Nothing left not to like each other about.
yeah,
But,
yeah, we did do a lot of fighting at younger ages, but I think we kind of outgrew all that. Like we still argue from time to time because everybody thinks they're right in our family.
yeah, everybody thinks they're smarter than me too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we all got our different kind of personality. That's what makes us all kind of special. We all got our different kind of personalities, and we all come together and everybody thinks they're geniuses.
That's facts. No, that's cool, man. So you feel like maybe that like you haven't completely overcome like this mental state from it, but do you feel like you kind of found a direction to maintain like every day, or like talk
Yeah,
about that?
yes, I feel like that. You know what I'm saying? I still have the struggle daily. Like it's a one step process for me, daily process for me every day. So I still have my little trials and tribulations, but you know, I'm fighting daily. I'm a fighter. That's what I've been doing. I've been fighting for a long time. Like
Yeah.
Everything I do is fighting. You know, what I'm
Yeah.
saying not like physically fight. Like I will get down and physically fight down, but don't get me wrong. But I most of the time I'm a fighter for what I believe in. Like I fight for my life. I fight for my, you know what I'm saying. I fight for what I believe in. Like the things I need to fight for, I fight for,
Mm.
and I believe that, you know what I'm saying. I'm going. I feel like I'm going in the right direction right now, but just it's still like it's a process. It's not gonna happen overnight. I know it's not gonna happen overnight. It might not even happen next month. It might not even happen 2 months from now. It might not even happen 6 months from now. It might not even happen this year. But I know I'm going. Like all I know is that I'm going in the right direction, and soon, you know what I'm saying. It'll be a thing in the past,
Yeah.
and I'll be able to manage it much more better. Like the the, the more I go through it, the easier it gets for me.
Amen to that, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you sharing that. All right, man. Well, like I said, appreciate you showing or kind of sharing that and kind of sharing like I mean your strength and just kind of being vulnerable in that state. I know a
No
lot of people
problem.
will appreciate that.
No problem. Anytime, man.
Yeah.
You know.
If you could now, this is kind of your time. Just kind of speak to someone who's kind of gone through what you said you were going through, like experiencing anxiety, depression, having like maybe suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
What type of encouragement would you speak to them?
The thing I would say to you is never lose hope. That's one thing you can never lose. Like your hope is a lot of things. Your faith is a lot. If you lose your faith, you ain't got nothing but nothing really. If you lose your faith, it's like if you lose what all you have to believe in, you'll never get to where you want to get in life. Like always have faith and just keep hope. Like no matter how hard it seems, no matter how difficult it seems, you know, just keep on pushing and try your best to work through it because miracles happen every day, you know, and things, you know what I'm saying, things don't always seem as easy as they're supposed to, but you know, you gotta make what the card that God gives you and, you know, make things work in your favor. Like the world is in your control. Like this is our world. Like don't let anybody tell you that it's not. Like your mind is really a terrible thing to waste. And if you know what I'm saying, if you train your mind to be positive, you'll positive things will happen to you. Train your mind to be negative, negative things will happen. Like it will never get like it's no option to be in a negative mood because negative will get you nowhere. Like it's really all about your mindset and what you know what I'm saying. That's 80% of the struggle in your mindset.
Appreciate those words, man. Now we're about to go into your mental check. So, like I said, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. First one is mental. That's kind of the way I define this is kind of your ability just to be every day. So when you go to sleep at night, you know, you don't your thoughts aren't convoluted. You're just able to lay your head down on the pillow and go to sleep. Every day is truly a new day, a new obstacle, a new challenge. You know, the things that happened yesterday aren't on your mind. And you're not super anxious about the future. You're just truly able to walk into every day and being like, this is, you know, this is Saturday. This is Sunday. It's just an isolated day. How are you doing? 1 to 10.
1 to 10, I give it a 6 because some days I do go back and forth with like being in a low place and sometimes I gotta shake myself out of it. But most days I be pretty good about like going on the next day and just thinking about like positive things going on for the future. So I give it about a 6.
No, that's okay. Is that a 6? What do you think you can do to kind of like get that number a little higher? Like,
What I can do is
so,
get a lot, have my mind more on positive things and
mm-hmm.
don't let it drift out to the negative. Like as much as I do sometimes because it it varies. Like I admit, I'm not always in the best moods every day, but I find a way. Each day, I find a way to get through what I'm going through. Like no matter how bad it is or hard or how good it is, I try to keep myself in a positive. Like if I do get to a point where I'm at a low, I try my best to have my mind on positive things and don't and not thinking so far in the future. Just trying to take it day by day. Because if you get to thinking too far in the future, down the line, and things like it get kind of difficult because you don't know where you're gonna be, and I don't know where I want to be in about 5 to 10 years, but I don't know if
Yeah,
God's willing. What I'm saying, God out there be living that time. You know,
absolutely. Yeah, man. No, I think that's great. Just continue that positive outlook you've been saying, and get that number up, and consistently be able to be there, make it stronger.
yes,
Like you
sir.
like you said, the mind is the mind is too powerful to be wasted. So mentally, you're at a 6, man. We talked about things you can do to get that up, and I know you will, man. I'll be keeping you accountable in that too, man. Just so we can make sure that trajectory stays up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Now, switching emotionally, how you doing emotionally, 1 to 10?
1 to 10, like emotionally, like I'll give that about a 7
Mm-hmm.
because I'm getting there, but I'm not quite all the way there yet. Like like I said, some days don't be as easy for me. Some days be easier for me. It's just a day by day struggle. It's just trying like keeping your emotions is just like trying to what I'm saying trying to just maintain like most of the time it's just maintaining happiness and you know trying to make it a better like trying to get better at things that you're struggling with like like there's a lot of different things there's a lot of things I struggle with emotionally that if I don't get tacked to them before the day starts it could ruin my whole day you know and so
So what do you
I try.
do? What do you do when those emotions come? Do you allow yourself to process it, or do you push it away? What do you do with it?
So first I allow myself to process and I'll most of the time try to pray it off like prayer changes a lot of things. Prayer helps you with a lot of things. Like it's a form of meditation. It it helps you to clear your mind and be able to cope with things a lot better. Like having that relationship with God and you can just talk to him like he's like one of your friends.
Mm.
Like that really helps out a lot with my emotional disabilities, and it helps lets me know that you know he might not be there like he's an on time God. He might not be there where you want him, but he's always on time. So you got to keep that in mind. Like God, it might seem like sometimes God forgets about us sometimes, but He's always working behind the scenes, and He'll never leave us alone as long as you have faith in Him and you believe that His Son died for our sins. Like He will never leave us alone. That's what you got to keep in your mind. Like
Yeah. So emotionally at a 7, you feel like.
yeah, I feel like I'm on a 7.
Mentally at a 6, emotionally at a 7. Stan, how you doing spiritually?
Spiritually, I feel like I'm at probably an 8.5 or 9, just because I'm like, d- despite what I'm going through, like I always have a good sense, like good mind sense, and you know, it doesn't really affect me as much. Like whenever I get the feeling like my spirit's down, I'll get to myself, do a little meditation, do a little praying, listen to some soothing music maybe, and like just basically get to a spot where I can be alone and just hear my thoughts. And I might sound crazy, but I talk to myself just to like let them know I'm okay with myself.
That does not sound crazy, man. But keep going.
Yeah, and I try to, you know what I'm saying. It works out itself most of the time. You know, just having a quiet spot where you can think and just go over things in your life and just having a peaceful moment to yourself. That's sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes just having a little time to yourself, a little quiet time to yourself, like it helps out a lot. It really does. And
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. That's good, man. That's your highest one, and that's so good. That's where the highest is. I feel like if that one, that's kind of one. If it suffers, you'll see it's kind of hitting all other areas, and if that one's right, like all the other areas will kind of slowly start to make its way there as well.
yeah,
Last one is physically. So how you doing physically, 1 to 10?
physically, uh, I have a couple of health problems, so I give myself an 8
Mm-hmm.
because I'm handling them the best way I can, like the best way I can right now. I'm not working out as much as I need to, so I feel like I can kind of get get more in the gym again because you see my muscles and everything, but that's just natural. But I need to do a little bit more working out though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's that? Physically 8, right?
Yeah, I say physically like an 8.
Okay. Cool, man. Well, man, I hope you continue to kind of ask yourself those questions where you are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, because I think that's kind of way kind of to ground us through any type of day, any type of circumstance. Like, man, why am I struggling? And at least it begins to pinpoint like which area it is that I need to focus on right now. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
otherwise, you kind of neglect it.
Yeah.
But this last portion is it's just the flowers portion is what I call it, man. So, I mean, I just want to, you know, I just talk about just how resilient and strong you really are. Um, every single day that you wake up takes a immense strength.
Yeah.
And that's just to get through it. But you're still able to find ways to laugh, find ways to smile, and find ways to find joy in the days when your faith is still high despite the circumstances. And I think that's a walking testament to what it looks like to truly, be walking and not letting the environment shape you, but kind of you shaping your environment.
Yeah. Just like I said, your mind is a terrible thing to waste, and you know, it's a mindset. Sometimes it's all about your mindset, like where your mind is at. Like,
And you're a powerful one, man. So I just want to, appreciate you, and I hope you feel that, man. You're my oldest brother, and
appreciate it too.
I love that about you, and I hope to be that resilient myself. So,
Yeah.
thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man. This now concludes the 9th episode of Mental Check. We got Stan Jr. out here, talking knowledge.
Yeah, I'm
helping those people out there.
Trying to teach a little bit of what I know, man. I got a little bit of wisdom. These 34 years I've been in the world.
Yes, sir. All right, well, man, we appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Love you.
Love you too, man.
All right, peace.